should continue with one little thing.
How you doing, Seija?
Hey, alright. The stage has been set, the curtains have been drawn. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final matchup. That's right, bracket reset included. Match of Tinwa Summer Cup 3. My name is Gavin Creoline. I'm going to be bringing you the commentary from the ground. And I'm so incredibly stoked to see these two teams go head to head during this matchup. It's going to be Amaterasu versus Seija Corp. I believe this is not the first time that we've seen a matchup such as this one. I believe they did face off in the semifinals match, and even that in itself was an incredibly nail-biting match. I believe that match went in favor of Seija Corp, but only on tiebreaker off the back of an incredible carry from Gabber SS. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the action that we have here today. I'm definitely looking forward to be seeing how these teams go when it comes to strategy. We'll talk a little bit more about the bans later on, after this match, but we're gonna kickstart this matchup with a first pick from Seija Corp going into this Hidden 3. This Hidden 3, it's a very famous direct call map. I mean, Wafer, you see Wafer as the mapper, so you already know what's up. It's all gonna be about incredibly dense movement patterning alongside, this sort of new gen messy genre of tech that, mappers like Wafer are known for sort of pushing to the forefront of the mapping scene. You're gonna be expecting a lot of density patterns. You're gonna be expecting a lot of awkward aim, and overall a lot of weird angles for players to contend with. Very interested to see how this goes overall. And with that said, we are going to see our first starting lineup coming in from both teams. So it's gonna be Makabe, Chloe Wing Q, Kukiazi, that noob guy, pardon me. And on the side of Seija Corp, we're gonna see Jitterish, Umeri, Tapsis, and Gao Hao coming in for their respective lineups. Here we go. First matchup of the match is gonna be Daria Math Closure.
I feel like we should continue with one little thing.
How you doing, Seija?
Alright, this map takes a little bit to start to get going, but very soon, when this map heats up, it definitely doesn't stop. We're currently going into that first build up. All the combos intact for the lobby. Chloe is gonna find that early miss, gonna push an early scoreline in favor of Seija Corp, but it's gonna get traded up big time by Umeri and Tapsis. Now Gao Hao joining the fray, but misses coming all across the bottom side. That noob guy and Kukiazi all go down. Makabe versus the world at this point. Jitterish, the last FC on the side of Seija Corp to go down, and with that, it's just a one-man show. It's a one-man army for Makabe, trying to bring that scoreline back in favor of himself, but this map is so incredibly difficult to exercise consistency on. And Mekabe will try, but he will not run very far. 34k in favor of Seija Corp going into that second third of the map. The map is gonna calm down for just a little bit, but this is just once again another build up. We get into these extremely weird wafer sliders, but right after that we get into a slow calm before the storm. The scoreline is still competitive. 44k in favor of the right side. Could definitely switch over at any side, but you need that consistency. You need that combo coming in from Amaterasu if you want to even begin to think about this comeback. Here we go. Build up. The jumps come in to attack the players. Makabe going to be the first one to get caught off guard by the KI. Not quite what you want. The scoreboard opens to just that little bit, and we are into the circle tag. Umeri finds the miss, and now it's 3 versus 3. But Chloe and Kukiazi are not going to do them any favors. Tapsis might slow the bleeding, but it's a double threat coming in from Jitterish and Gao Hao to take down any sort of attack from that noob guy going into the second half of the map. And they are just continuing to put this scoreline completely out of reach for Amaterasu at this juncture. Nothing much they can do but hope that Seija Corp gives them some sort of outlet Hope that they can give this outlet soon. 500 combo from that new guy. You know, he's just knocking on the doors of Gaohao and Jitterish, waiting for the opportunity to come in, but the misses coming in from Makabe and Umeri are not going to do them any favors. Trades only favor the winning side, and the winning side currently decisively is in favor of Seija Corp. Tapsis, however, finds a miss. That's not who you need to go down. And with that, that new guy gets caught in the crossfire. Chloe, all of the combos on Amaterasu going down. Gaohao might find a miss, but Jitterish till the very end. 700 combo and counting. Going to the last quarter of the map. It's a 163k scoreline in favor of Seija Corp. And we're just looking to see how far they can take it. Jitterish finally finds the miss, but I think it's a done deal. First pick going to Seija Corp. Incredibly good first pick as well coming in from them. And here we are, that has been the first pick of this incredibly tight matchup. And it looks like we're immediately looking to jump into another one. Is that right? I think we're going straight into that Hard Rock 1. Oh my goodness. Wow. These players just constantly firing back at each other. And, you know, I think it definitely makes a lot of sense that these players would be very, very comfortable going into this matchup, considering that they did come out of Amaterasu's 7-6 victory against Sadrikor. In fact, this team has faced off against each other so many times across the span of this tournament. It's not every day where, you know, you have two 7-6 tiebreaker matchups it going into, you know, your final standoff against each other. And if the past two matches were any indicator, I think both of these teams are incredibly tightly contested going into this matchup. But talking a little bit about the map at hand, it looks like we're going to see a Hard Rock 1. This is a custom map for the Sugar Rush, second iteration of the Sugar Rush series. I believe this is a custom map by Allegrissimo, which we reused here in Tinwa Cup. And this is a very, very cookie cutter Hard Rock 1, right? Nothing much to write home about. Really just 218 BPM, cross-screen jumps, large spacing jumps, nothing too special. But of course, the Hard Rock is going to add up to a little bit more of that difficulty when it comes to trying to maintain the consistent combo alongside, you know, the increased OD, making it slightly more difficult to act. But I do not really think that any player in this lobby will really struggle to play a map like this. Really, it's one of the more accessible picks in the pool overall. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see very, very high scores coming in from the players on this map. I do believe that this is a unique pick. I don't think we've seen these two teams in particular stand off against on a map such as this one. In fact, I believe this is in fact the first time that we've ever seen a Hard Rock 1 pick been allowed through or been picked during any matchup in the grand finals. I believe Seija Corp did ban this Hard Rock 1 in their previous matchup against Amaterasu. So, you know, here we are seeing Amaterasu bringing out the what could have been going into their first pick. Definitely makes a lot of sense why they'd opt to go once again for this Hard Rock 1, right? This makes a lot of sense. Good luck, have fun coming in chat. Looks like Polyphia going to be the substitute in for the left side, while Seija, the namesake of Seija Corp, will be coming in for the right alongside Marin. And here we go. You know, this map, once again, you know, it's very consistent in its difficulty. You know, a lot of what we're seeing here is a lot of the patterns that we're going to be seeing here are going to be a lot of the patterns that we'll be seeing later on in the matchup. And Seija, Killin, and Chloe are going to pull ahead with some early misses. You know, Polyphia as well, a bit of an early miss, but A lot more to be decided on the onside of this map. Very, very long map, clocking in at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So, war of attrition, it's gonna be a fight for consistency. Generation gonna miss right before that first KI, but now Polyphia joins them going down. That new guy in Seija goes down as well, and Marin is the one to fall. But Seija Corp still has their one FC in Gaohao. Meanwhile, Amaterasu completely uncontested. They do not have anyone to slow down the onslaught of Gaohao, especially with that miss coming in from Chloe. Gaohao 400 combo and counting, going to the second third of the map. That scoreline flips over to the right side, and it's looking to continue to grow as Amaterasu struggles to find their footing in the fog of war. And, you know, as we get into this break, you know, a quick substitution in from the commentary booth. What's good, Lafarai? Welcome to the commentary booth.
What's up, Gami Crayola? It's grand finals right now. Seija Corp
Grand
taking
finals.
first point. And this HR1 still very much contested. Cannot tell who's taking this one. No one has combo right now. Highest one is that noob by 200. And that crawls back slowly to them to the left by just a bit, or the halfway point. But here comes another KI.
Yeah, that's right. Here we go. Full swing into what could be the deciding section of this matchup. Chloe, Maccabi all gonna go down. Gaohao was holding such a big combo, but unfortunately finds the miss as well. Now it's that new guy's time in the spotlight. Jitterish trying their best to contest, but it's a 50k scoreline and it's going fast in favor of the left side. It's just gonna be a Mexican showdown between that new guy and Jitterish right now as we move to the last quarter of the map. It's the next one who misses, who's going to determine the fate of their teams in this matchup. But we're going out of this KI, and it's still contested as ever. Generation and that new guy trade at the exact same time, and with a 140k score lead, it's looking up for Amaterasu on this Hard Rock one.
Yeah, it makes sense that they're taking it by this quite of a big margin. They did this multiple times already on this Hard Rock one. They did it last week against the same team. They did it in lower grand finals against that Uma Musume third place team. They're doing it again here in bracket reset, proving exactly why they're the best aim team that is left in this tournament, maybe even just overall. That noob guy, masterclass, 500,000 continuing his consistent aim consistency, and as well as his teammates supporting him very, very well. Chloe and Kyo Macabea up at about 400,000, as well as Polyphia, decent 300,000 score. And that leads to a very nice win for Amaterasu, 1-1 for both teams, and their first picks going very well.
That's right. And Lafarai, I mean, I think now's a pretty good time to talk about the narrative going into a matchup such as this one. I like to remind everyone, these two teams have gone to tiebreaker twice in this tournament. Once in semifinals where Seija Corp were the victors, and once in the lower side of grand finals where Amaterasu took them all the way 7-6 in order to bring you this match, the bracket reset. So there is a lot of history going into these teams, into these two teams, and in essence, Lafarai, it's sort of like a best of 3 matchup, you know? This is like both teams are 1-1, and the winner sort of settles that score. And you know, there is a lot of tension going into both of these, going into this matchup, I believe. There's a lot on the line. But I didn't really get a chance to talk about the band, so I think now's a pretty good time to just real quick jump into it. From, you know, the Hidden 2 and No Mod 6 band coming in from Amaterasu, it's very clear to see that they are the team that wants to play away from the gimmick. And meanwhile, Seija Corp, you know, going for Hard Rock 3 DT1, while Hard Rock 3 really isn't that heavy when it comes to the mechanics, when it comes to the mechanics control spectrum. It definitely does favor the mechanics slightly more given how it is a Hard Rock. But DT, you know, heavily leans into that mechanics ballpark. So with that said, it's a very, very standard matchup of, you know, control or, you know, gimmick versus mechanics. It's a very, very common sort of binary tension going into this grand finals matchup. And if anything, I think how clear cut and dry the specialties of both teams are make this match so much more interesting, right? Because you have a lot of picks that clearly favor one side. But you also have, you know, a few picks here and there, maybe like a No Mod 3 or something in the middle, where you can definitely see some contested picks, at least when we get into the later sections of the map. But it looks like we're going to see a No Mod 2 being picked from Seija Corp. So once again, playing into... they seem to want to play into the mechanics. That is rather interesting, but what are your thoughts on this, Lafarai?
it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Polar opposite skill sets, the mechanics is Nomad 2. High BPM, stamina, and a bit of flow aim as well mixed in. Nomad 5 in its original pool it was taken from. And I mean, it's just more speed that Seija Corp really likes, especially against this Amaterasu team. They don't have a 4 or even just 3 to try and match the 4 that Seija Corp could pull up on this. Now, Seija Kijin, Tapsus, and Jitters to come in. I think it's the same roster from last week that they had. Yes, it is. And the only one to really match in that previous match that they played this in Zoma 2 was B. Bryant, who is in the lobby right now. 400k from him, but his team is gonna have to show up big time if they want to beat the Seija Corp on this, because they lost by about 700,000 last time they played this.
Yeah, it's really about the Nomad 2 on Nomad 2 as a skill set. It's very, very polarizing. I think being speed capped or being, you know, capped at the BPM in grand finals is something that's very, very devastating for your roster, because it's either you can or you can't, right? If you can't tap the 240 BPM streams, there's no way that you're gonna even begin to think about sort of RNGing your way through a pick like this. It's not like a Nomad 1 where, you know, everybody is kind of shaky, everybody kind of is able to exercise consistency on a Nomad 1. It's not the same for a Nomad 2, but without further ado, let's jump into Kissing the Mirror X Ended Corporation Frozen Gear.
Big streams already come into bursts, and a sudden, oh my god, the sudden full aim as well. Very linear, catches off 3 people already. Be Brian, Nameless, and Polifia all gone. And now it's up to that noob guy to try and keep their intro afloat here for Amaterasu. It's still a 4-way going for Seija Corp. Very expected for them. And in terms of accuracies, I mean, you can already see why they're picking this and why they're so dominant on the speed. They're probably looking towards DQ2 right after this, after Amaterasu's pick. But I mean, it's already almost 100,000 lead, and the only combo left in Amaterasu is gone. And to add on top of that, 2 more resets for their team, and it's just B. Brian alone.
That's right, once again, it's B. Brian against the wall. Seija might slow the bleeding, but that is a scoreline that is so heavily in favor of Seija Corp, with B. Brian going down. Gahao, Tapsus, and Jitterish are circling the ranks of Amaterasu going into the second quarter of the map. It's looking grim. And the worst part is that we have about, you know, 2 more minutes left in the tank for them to continue to perpetuate this scoreline. Tapsus goes down. There is no response from Amaterasu, and you know, I don't like calling it when it's only, you know, a third of the map through, but Lafarai, this is a crushing matchup. This is a absolutely crushing scoreline, and I don't really think there's much that they can go into. In fact, you know, while we are here, Lafarai, do you have any opinions or any thoughts as to what Amaterasu could go for next in their pick? Because, you know, coming out of of such a crushing defeat on this Nomad 2, you need something confident or something dominant of your own to sort of slow down the momentum train, right, from your opponents. What do you see them going into, considering, you know, they went Hard 1 as their first pick?
Well, I mean, aim is the name of the game for Amaterasu. They like to pick into these Nomad 1s and Hard Rock 1s for their first 2 or 3 so picks. I mean, they did with the HR1. I'm assuming they're gonna go Nomad 1 next, because that is their next best map here. I think they almost lost it last week against Seija Corp here, but in terms of what they can get on that Nomad 1, look at their match against Musume Pretty. They had a monstrous team score on that with an FC from that guy as well. So they want to try, I think they're going to try and replicate that here in this matchup, seeing as they're already pivoting towards the HR1 here for their first pick. And I mean, if it wasn't the aim, it would probably something more towards the control, something like a Nomad 3, maybe Nomad 4. We haven't seen that much from them. We saw it last time, we've gotten the tiebreaker, but I'm not sure if they want to pick it this early. So if it's not the Nomad 1, which I would be very surprised, probably something like a Nomad 3.
I mean, you know, we were talking a lot about this Nomad 1, but at the same time, Nomad 1 is, again, one of those maps that could definitely swing either way, right? I think Nomad 1 is sort of one of those picks where you leave it to slightly later in the matchup, but I mean, I say that, and, you know, I say that, but at the same time, this team has been known for incredibly large amounts of aim abuse, so would not put it past Amaterasu to go for a Nomad 1 pick. I believe it was their second pick in their previous matchup anyways, and it was a pretty crushing victory of 767. Wow, okay, well that's a crazy scoreline. About 800, or not 800k, about 200k for the side of Amaterasu. So won't make a lot of sense to go into that no mod 1 pick. I am interested in seeing if they do want to pivot into something else. However, maybe they want to leave the no mod 1 for slightly later in the matchup, you know, where the picks start to get the run a bit thin. I'm sort of eyeing that hidden 1. I think a hidden 1 could be a pretty interesting shout as well. In fact, all of the 1 slots are pretty open for Amaterasu. I think that's what we're trying to grapple at, right? Meanwhile, you know, Seija Corp pulling ahead with once again another incredibly decisive victory on that no mod 2. I don't think anybody is surprised by that scoreline whatsoever, and I don't think Amaterasu will really be holding it against themselves. You know, considering this is just one of those maps where I quote Forum, can I start the match with four points down and just have 4 bans where I just ban out all the mechanics picks? That's really the sort of situation that we're in right now, and you know, this is a GG go next angle, but back to the drawing board for Amaterasu. I think they will go one of the 1 slots here. Probably no mod 1, considering how, you know, it was their second pick in their previous match. No reason to reinvent the wheel considering you were very, very decisive on that hard rock 1. But no, instead, they are going to prove me wrong. We are looking to pivot into instead the free mod 2. So it looks like we're going to a slightly gimmickier pick. What are your thoughts on this? They won by 376k in their previous matchup, so I think this is definitely coming from a place of confidence.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence going to this pick, but I'm sure Seija Corp would like to contest them on this. It was Seija Corp's pick last time. They did get breakpointed on it. It's because like Doctree and that new guy had very, very nice showings on that this free mod too. I mean, Doctree on a no mod hard rock as well for that new guy, and they're gonna go over mod here with Chloe Wing Q to try and support those two as well. This is a nice map for both teams really, and it's gonna be about performance straight up, because this is a very contested map, so picking it this early is actually kind of scary for either team. But this time it's gonna be Amaterasu instead of leaving it up to Seija Corp later on. I'm actually really scared of this, because I know what kind of scores they have. That noob guy has an FC from the first match in Grand Finals. So if he underperforms here, it'd be a big, big factor whether or not to take this map.
Yeah, and I think I really like your statement of, you know, being afraid or you anticipating something bad happening from this pick, because I want to sort of highlight the sort of picks that Amaterasu is confident on compared to the picks that Seija Corp is confident on. Seija Corp is a team, you know, mechanics. They like their high BPM. They like the stuff that they can speed cap Amaterasu on. Keyword speed cap. It is something that Amaterasu cannot do. Now, on the flip side, Amaterasu favors aim. They favor the 1 slots. They favor stuff like Free Mod 2. You know, Free Mod 2 does seem to be a pick that makes more sense for them. You know, it could definitely see where it's coming from, especially considering it's like grid aim. It's like wide angle grid aim. And at the end of the day, the key skill set is aim. But when you compare the score differentials in their previous matchup, you know, when you compare the victories of Amaterasu and the victories of Seija Corp in their previous matchup, you notice that Seija Corp oftentimes has a lot more decisive victories. And for that reason, could definitely see a lot of Amaterasu's strong picks being more contested than they would like strong picks to be. Already early on, we're going to see a 25k score lead in favor of Seija Corp. So, Lafara, I think this is definitely a very important pick to win because it signals a sort of shift, or it sort of foreshadows how the tempo of this match should go should Amaterasu lose out on their second pick.
Yeah, this is very nerve-wracking here. If you compare their score, or their scores, all their scores really, Amaterasu from first match of Grand Finals to their first match of Winners Grand Finals last weekend. And then now, let's see if they can manage to improve their scores, because they have a lot of their team scores going into the Winners Grand Finals, and it seems like something similar is happening here. 3 misses already, but there's also answers from Seija Corp. Tapsus and Gao breaking, but that Dubai is still there, continuing with an FC, but so far, no support from his teammates. Seija Corp, meanwhile, still has an FC from both their no mods. It's just that their modern players have been struggling a bit on the first half of this map, but that's all they really need. If that guy underperforms here like he did in Winners Grand Finals, this could be huge.
Exactly, and already, you know, we are going to the second half of the map. This is looking scarier and scarier for Amaterasu. Marin and Jitterish are looking for the angle of attack. Currently, no fail ankle from Jitterish and a no fail anchor from Marin. The two no modded anchors are doing God's work, outnumbering the likes of that new guy. Currently, everybody in the lobby trying to regain their combos, and we're just waiting for that pivotal final quarter. And here we go, you know, it's do or die, and slowly but surely, with that miss from Makabe and Gaohao, the scoreline is going to stagnate, and they're gonna slowly but surely walk towards the end of the map. Last quarter, there's that new guy, there is no room for error whatsoever, but Jitterish and Maron are completely unrelenting their pursuit. The scoreline is gonna shift in favor of the left side by just a little bit, but it won't go far. But Jitterish goes down. That new guy is now staring down Marin. It's a showdown till the very end, but I don't think it is going to be enough to bring the scoreline back. It's gonna look to flicker around that 50k mark, but at the end of the day, that's what we were talking about. How dangerous Amaterasu's strong suits are. And that's gonna be a breakpoint to Seija Corp on Amaterasu's second pick. This is scary. This is scary now.
Yeah, Seija Corp there, very nice improvement compared to their first time they played this map. Marin doubling his score. He went from 400k to now 880, saving them there on the last part of that, the last section of that map, as that new guy held alongside him, actually misses there at the end. But I think the biggest difference here was Jitterish subbing in for Umeri, who was on the hard rock last time. This time they have Gaohao, who actually had a lower score than Umeri, but still was enough to get at least the same score, right? Someone to be consistent on that modded score. And, you know, Jitterish came in and proved that, like, added an extra, like, 500k to their team score, and that it results in such a good win, such an important early breakpoint. And this is what happened to Amaterasu last week as well. They were trading points. You know, their picks were going very well, but then something wrong happened around map 4 or 5, and that led to Seija Corp taking 3 points in a row. And now they're looking to do the same here with this DT2, try and look for a 4th and maybe even a 5th to try and get as close to match point as they can before Amaterasu can stop being staggered here on this map pool.
I like to go back to what you were talking about, right? The way that the previous grand finals matchup went was, it was a huge shift in the seesaw overall, where Seija Corp wins 4 points in a row, and then Amaterasu instantly, like from there, wins 4 points in a row after Seija Corp takes them all the way to bracket reset. I like to mention, however, the difference in these two matchups, and the reason why I'm very scared is because one of Amaterasu's picks that they used, in fact, the last pick that they used in order to take themselves all the way to that match point was the free mod 2. And that's why I'm so scared, right? I mean, that was one of your winning picks. That was one of your late stage picks that your opponent just instantly stolen in their favor going into the early stages of this match. So once again, as I was saying, the tempo of this match now shifts very heavily in favor of Seija Corp. But we are looking to move into that DT2, and I think this is gonna be another one of those picks that are incredibly decisive towards Seija Corp. Speed, Seija Corp, mechanics abuse, need I say more?
Yeah, I mean, you know what happened last week? We had Jitterish on an FC, Marin right behind them, 800,000, and as well as very good supporting scores from Seija and Tapsis. Don't think they're gonna switch up here. Yeah, I can already see them getting ready for this map. And once again, it's Speed Bryant alone against the world. His team's gonna have to put up something insane. It's gonna have to be magic if they want to break point on this.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they had to pull something off crazy, but I think the prospects are not looking up for Amaterasu, and I wouldn't blame them if they are also feeling rather unnerved going into this double time too. But here we go. This map is all about 232 BPM. I believe it's slightly heavier on the stamina side, if I'm not mistaken. At least compared to that No Mod 4. And it's another 3-minute, 30-second long bout. So we're gonna be here for a while. Nothing much more to comment about before the map begins. You know, both teams gonna slowly put up these combos, and already we get to see some of the burst heavy patterns that this map has to offer. But here we go.
Alright, I see the streams coming in.
The streams, yep, that's right.
And already, well, it's actually a nice small lead here at the start for Amaterasu. They do have more players for this compared to the Noma 2. I guess their tapping players do not like the full aim, but the stamina here is what really favors Seija Corp. Their accuracy is just way better, even at the start here, as all 8 players do continue the combo. But it's when you get to those key eyes that your stamina starts to fail you, and the streams get even longer. So if you're out of stamina here, you're over once it gets to the key eyes. But I mean, so far, it's very strong. Nemo's first one to miss, though.
Oh, that's a trade.
Gives a slight edge to Seija Corp at the start, but it's always like this on any of these speed maps. And actually, I do want to highlight Amaterasu changing their ban to the Hidden 2. You know, no matter what happens here, I mean, this is very favored towards Seija Corp. There are misses coming out. 2 from Amaterasu, though. Another one from Seija Corp. It's actually equal.
Wait.
In terms
Whoa.
Wait. Okay, we're talking about favorite team here, but so far it's equal right now. It's a B prime miss. Marin as well trades, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Jitters versus Polyphia on this DT2. It's the better accuracy on Jitters. Polyphia 4% behind, and now all the combo, and that is all hope gone for Amaterasu as Jitters takes over this map as he always does halfway through with 98% FC checkmark, and you know exactly why. 150,000 score lead now, and Seija Corp is just in full control of the speed.
Jitterish is looking so happy, moving to that last third of the map, completely uncontested in the scoreline, 1.2k combo and counting. It was looking so up for Amaterasu. I think regardless of how this point ends, I think they can be very happy of how competitive they made that scoreline, because, you know, after seeing that No More 2, DT2 is one of those maps where you go into it expecting a complete crushing stomp from Seija Corp, but I mean, Amaterasu shows that, you know, they're not quite out of the question when it comes to the speed. Jitterish finally goes down. B Brian, the only combo left for Amaterasu, but, you know, there are 3 recoveries from Seija Corp and 0 from the side of Amaterasu going to the last few seconds of the map. 300k scoreline in favor of the blue side. Once again, the mechanics abuse continues to prevail. Marin going to escort that scoreline comfortably, going to the last streams of the map. The spacing incredibly intense, and Marin's just looking to hit all of it. All right, Jitterish now taking the baton one last time, and that's gonna be that double time to done and dusted.
400,000 score rate there, but that's the difference between these maps, right? Like the gap in the like you said, the gap in the comfortable maps for Seija Corp is so much bigger compared to Amaterasu. Like, look at this 400,000 score lead. That's huge. But when you compare it to last weekend where they had a 1 million score lead, it's really shocking how much of an underperformance that is, but still managed to get a massive score lead. It's actually crazy how comfortable they are on the speed. But as I was saying in the middle of that map, oh, there's no 1-1 finally. As I was saying in the middle of that map, because of Amaterasu switching to band state into, this does mean that there is another speed map open in the DT pool. DT3 is open this time. That could be scary.
I mean, you say that it's scary, Lafarai, but Amaterasu made that DT2 pretty close. Maybe, you know, they're feeling something different in their bones today. And Amaterasu, they're picking between 2 evils. Either you get stomped because you can't read low AR, or you're getting stomped because you can't tap 270 B or like 300 BPM, you know?
Yeah, they'll take it.
Yeah, you need to pick your poison. And if it didn't work, if the ban didn't work last time, you know, maybe leaving the DT3 this time will work better in favor of themselves. But enough about that. Let's go into that No Mod 1. This No Mod 1 is again another cookie cutter bread and butter consistency pick. At the end of the day, it's just 7.4 1-star cross-screen jumps. It's all about the aim, right? It's pretty similar to what we saw from the Hard Rock 1, but because it's very similar to the Hard Rock 1, Lafarai, I'm sure you know there's definitely a world where Seija Corp picks such as this one, right? Especially on the accessibility that the No Mod 1 brings to the table. I don't think anybody in the lobby is gonna struggle playing this whatsoever. It's just gonna be a matter of that consistency, and we have seen Seija Corp do some crazy things on the No Mod 1. I'm looking at you, Marin, in that semi-finals match.
Oh yeah, lots of Bane players in this lobby right now, and I mean, Uh, this could be a massive lead if Amaterasu can manage to replicate their 1.5 million score lead, by the way, on the Mod 1 and the lower grand finals. But judging from what happened last week, where they only had a 200,000 score lead, this might be very, very contested if the underperformance continues here from Amaterasu. We have the same players from both sides. Well, minus Lelex Limi, who is not present today. That guy is in the stadium right now watching Counter-Strike. But there is Umeri to sub in on the Snowball 1. And we get started into all the aim already. Nice, very big spacing and a miss from Umeri to start us off with a small lead towards Amaterasu.
That's right, but it's still early days. A lot to be expected. This is a very, very long 3-minute long map, so it's gonna be up to who can hold and who can sustain those large combos going into the next KIs of this matchup. Currently, Amaterasu off the back of that early miss from Umeri, as you mentioned before, Lafarai gonna pull ahead with an early lead, but with the slow section out of the way, it's full throttle into that KIA. Brian gonna be the first one to go down, but Jitterich is gonna trade things up. Mekabe, Chloe, and that new guy now pressing against the two FCs of Seija Corp, bringing in the heat, but the flowing patterns come in and everybody in the lobby is completely unfazed. Jitterich struggling to find that footing, and that's gonna perpetuate that scoreline further in favor of Amaterasu. Brian going to slow down the bleeding, but Umeri is not gonna do them any favors with that miss. It's still a 3v2 going into the latter half of this KI.
Oh, Big Stream comes in, but all the FCs right now are unfazed. It's just been the continuously breaking players that haven't broken so far. We're halfway through. These guys are unrelenting with their aim. Here comes the slower section to try and get more free combo. So far, that this favors Amaterasu as they do have 3. That new guy, Makabe and Chloe Wing Q. This is what I was talking about and what they can do on this Snow Mode 1. This is what happened the first time around. They're doing it now. But oh, that's a big break! That's a huge break from Makabe, but it's straight from Marin. That favors Amaterasu even more. Now it's Gaho alone against 2. Now what can he do is the question.
Yeah, what can he do indeed? 800 combo and counting. Gahao, that sort of monolith, that second monolith for Seija Corp. When Jitterich fails, Gahao is there to wait. And Chloe is going to make that scoreline even closer. The jumps, the 1-2s come in. Ooh. But that noob guy, the combo that you want to hold, continues to hold in favor of Amaterasu. And in the war of attrition, that new guy remains on top of Gahao, going to the last quarter of the map. Completely uncontested in the lobby with a 300k scoreline to his name. And I think it is going to be a done deal. Jitterich finally finding his footing in the match, but it's too late to matter. 1k combo going into the last sections of the map. 99.32% act. And yeah, this is an even more decisive victory on the Nomad 1 that from what we saw in their previous matchup against each other. So if anything, this is an improvement from Amaterasu on this Nomad 1. Incredible stuff. They're finding their footing. They're regaining the momentum that they lost to Seija Corp in the earlier sections of the map. And it's looking up if you're a left side fan.
Yeah, that'll be more so in that. I mean, okay, I was gonna say that might break again on the final slider of this map, but no, he finally watches out for it. Now there's an FC to close out this one. Amaterasu finally reaching the heights that they did previously on this Nomad 1. That noob guy showing up on this grand finals. 1 million score gap there. Not 1 million, almost 1 million, I think. It was 700 plus 1,000 there on the back of that FC, and as well as very good supporting combos. 500 and 600,000 from Chloe and Makabe as well. But now Seija Corp gets to continue their rampage across this map pool. But the question is, what do they pick next? They have that DT tree for speed. They have something like a hidden one, even though it is aim, but they did pick it last time. I could go in parallel this time, so that's also available for them. Nomad 3, or sorry, Nomad 4, I mean, something they go for as well if they want to do something more risky while they're in the lead for now. But I think the most likely picks here for Seija Corp is probably a free mod tree. It's more tapping, more streams. And while they did lose it last time, I think...
Okay, that's a number 5 instead. So I was sort of like highlighting the potential of a DT3 pick, but I think this is not a speed. It's not speed, is it? It's gimmick.
No, it's
it's
we
gimmick,
are.
right? Yeah,
that's actually something I overlooked. Hidden 2 and Nomad 6 are gone. But then we overlooked this. I was not in the ban phase. Sorry. Nomad 5 is low AR. The Nomad speed is in Nomad 2. So this Seija Corp, I think, is their second best pick here aside from that DT3. The AR5, insane gimmick here. It's lots of reading, lots of stacks, lots of slight rhythm changes. It's not rhythm changes, but it's like the way you
It's
switch
like
up
the
way you
song
map.
perception. Yeah. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, right? It's like the song like sort of plays tricks on you, and it's sort of misleading here and there. But I mean, CS5 as well. I like to mention, right? That's another element of consistency that these players will struggle on.
Yeah, and struggle on this they will, because I mean, especially let Chloe Wing Q there. Oh, it's not hidden, so that's something to watch out for. This is not the hidden that Amaterasu loads so much in these map pools. They banned out the hidden too because they lost it by such a big margin last time. Something I did not expect actually. Seija Corp won that by 600,000 with such a good team score. I wonder if they're gonna do the same here. They have basically the same quad here. Okay, no, Tap just does come out because I'm assuming it's because it's Nomad, not the hidden, and Nomeri subs in for him. But I think this is the same roster that Amaterasu is gonna running when they play this against Musume Pretty. But we know exactly what happened in that matchup. Zany 600,000 against nobody on Amaterasu. Sorry, I'm really tired today. But Amaterasu had what 300,000 on Macabea, and that was their best score. Lots of 100Ks from them on this Nomad 5, and we're expecting something similar here. If Seija Corp can have someone like Gauhao or Marin, maybe even Jitterish, just pull up something like a 500K, anything close to what Zany did, Amaterasu cannot do anything on this Nomad 5.
That's right, but oh my goodness, that's gonna be a question for the court. That noob guy and Joke 3 gonna be the first ones to miss on the left side, and already you're seeing a comfort differential coming in from both these teams, right? Just overall, the accuracies are slightly higher on Seija Corp, but we're gonna get into that first KI. Here come the wide angle patterns coming to attack the players currently. This map, I mean, if this map looks easy, it's definitely anything but, however. Currently a 40k scoreline in favor of the right side, and it's gonna continue to grow as they're looking at a three-way FC from Jitterish, Gauhao, and Umeri Makabe. And Chloe Wing Q, however, keeping them in the game. And it's gonna be a question of who goes down next.
That answers your question. That's three all across the board. Macabea, they're probably their best player on this breaks. Chloe Wing Q there, though, on the recovery. Very nice score. This is much better than what he was getting last week. Assuming he practiced a lot more there, but he's gonna need a lot more. There's one to keep it a bit closer. Umeri goes down, but Macabea breaks again. And now it's that noob guy and Chloe Wing Q against 3 from Seija Corp. Still going strong. We're halfway through, and it's already at 200,000 score lead.
That's right, you know, we're once again going into another build-up. The flowing comes to attack the players, and now, you know, the recoveries are active from Seija Corp. Marin with that 300 combo cancelling out basically anything that new guy has to offer, and Chloe, you know, is forced to fend against Gauhao and Jitterish alone going to the last quarter of the map. I mean, that scoreline is still pretty competitive by nature of Umeri struggling to find their footing, but we need to see a recovery from the supporting cast of Amaterasu, and Makabe and Joke 3 unfortunately will not live up to the challenge. We move into, you know, that cool little baseline in the last quarter, and it's still once again, you know, the double FC from Seija Corp that's making the difference for them.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do against 3 easy World Cup players, Marin, Jitterish, and Gauhao, all still going with the massive combos, 500,000 or 600,000 now approaching for 2 of them. Marin about to pass 500k, and Chloe Wing Q, the massive improvement, doing wonders, but it's not enough. It's 600,000. He finally goes down. Seija Corp, they were hiding this. Amaterasu, they had improvement, but it's not enough on it's a double FC with 600 combo from Marin as well. What is his team score, by the way?
I'm just lost for words. I mean, insane performance from the entire cast of Seija Corp. I mean, Umeri might struggle a little bit, but it doesn't even matter when you're staring down, what is that, 2 FCs from Seija Corp? What are we doing? What a way to win a point. And already, Seija Corp has progressed into sort of the close end game of this matchup. They're already 5 points up, 3 points above Amaterasu. And with a breakpoint still in their hands, it's looking more and more scary for Amaterasu to bring this back. But I mean, if there was ever a king of clutches, it's definitely Amaterasu, you know, that clutched in 4 points in a row in their previous matchup. And who's to say that they can't repeat history, repeat that feat yet once again.
Yeah, I mean, they get a chance to start a comeback lead here with their pick. They can go for one of the free modes here. Free mode 1 is also possible. And the hidden one, like you said earlier on, you know, just anything aimed, they can do magic on this Amaterasu team. They're gonna have to pick carefully. Noma Tree is also in their playbook, but I'm not sure if you want to go for that, seeing as it's a very risky pick. But I mean, even if they do take this though, next pick from Seija Corp, probably just the DJ tree instantly, right? I think we could both agree on that.
Yeah, definitely, right? Oh, yeah, it looks like we're gonna see, in fact, a DD4 coming in from the left side. That's definitely the kind of play that I kind of like this, you know? It's sort of, it's all about, you know, consistency on DT. You know, control is the main name of the game, but it's not too control heavy. You know, quite a few flowing patterns, quite a few snappy patterns. If anything, this is sort of your middle of the barrel crossbreed between your control and your overall consistency, right? You got a little bit of flow, you got a little bit of snap and sprinkled in. And this is a very interesting pick for me. I don't think I expected a DT4 pick to come in from anyone. But DT4 is always one of these maps where there's a lot of mystery shrouded in them. By nature of the fact that DT4 is usually only introduced in very late stages of the tournament, there's a lot that these teams don't know about each other on a slot such as this one. But, I mean, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Lafarai? What are your thoughts?
I think this is risky.
Oh, really?
You know, we might not know the scores on this specific map, but we do know what their scores on the DT4 finals weekend, and that was honestly, it's scary. It's really close. They both have a 2.6 million team scores on this, so this could go either way. Like, this could really go either way. But the only thing we do know is that Amaterasu played this against Musume Pretty, and they struggled to take this map. I think for the first half of this DT4, they were losing, but that new guy came in around at the end with close off that map with 1000 combo, and that brought them back here. I'm assuming that's what they're relying on, 500k from that new guy, looking to improve that here in the grand finals. See what they can do with this very, very risky DT4. If they lose this, it's over.
Yeah. And Amaterasu is really a go big or go home team, right? We saw it in their previous match. We saw it in all of their favorite picks. But time and time again, it seems as though Amaterasu's favorite picks are more accessible when it comes down to it. It's just going to be up to whether the players can rise up when they're in the lobby, when they're in the moment, and when they're in the seat. But we're gonna have to see how this DT4 goes. It's gonna be Regional Theater Spica, mapped by Scup Domino. I believe this is a collab as well. Scup Domino is very well known for this style of movement in mapping, and this movement is definitely a lot of what we're going to see. You know, you're looking at slightly messier patterns from your average map as we move into the early section of this map, but not looking out for Amaterasu as that new guy Maccabee finds some early misses, and with that's going to compound an early lead in front of Seija Corp as the map begins to sort of ramp up. We get into the snappy patterns. Gaohao might slow the bleeding, but Maccabee and that new guy, they need to find their footing before it's too late. 2 FCs to 3 now.
Still have 3 to go. Gaohao, first one to miss, not a good sign, but honestly, if it's Gaohao, he can definitely come back in the map at any point. But there's Tapsis. That makes it a little bit more interesting. Seija Kijin as well, the CEO of this company, goes down, and now Amaterasu gets a lot more chances, but there's 2. But it's a trade. It's 2 for 2. And now 3 for Seija Corp, and now it's Chloe Wing Q against Gaohao, the only FC left, Chloe, with supporting Galver from Macabea halfway through this map. Where is that new guy? Is my question right now.
Yeah, that new guy struggling to find his angle into the fight, but it doesn't matter as Chloe and Maccabee, definitely regained their footing. 400 combo on the recovery. Chloe Wing Q now has a 700 combo, completely beating out what Gao Hao has to offer, but Chloe goes down and suddenly now Gao Hao looking scarier and scarier. It's now a battle. It's now a battle between Maccabee and Gao Hao, and now with that miss from Polyphia, Jitterish is now beating up against the two recoveries, but Jitterish will not get far with the recovery. That new guy is now the only one left on Amaterasu as Maccabee finds the miss. This is the angle that Gao Hao needed. 800 combo and counting, moving into the second half of the map. It's just gonna be a question of how Gao Hao take it as that new guy goes down and he's ready to turn some heads.
Gao Hao, he has no teammates right now. It's 1v1. Oh no, 1v0 now. He's alone in the lobby. Gao Hao, 1000 combo. Can he bring it back? All the time in the world. No one else will copy, but there he goes. He missed his chance.
No, and it was looking so up for Gao.
Wait, this time.
Oh my goodness, boss. We can't even speak. There are a bunch of ag drops coming in from the entire lobby. Amaterasu getting killed by all of the weird figure control patterns, and the pendulum shifts towards the right side. Now Polyphia is the only one left, but Jitterish finds the miss. It is still so close as Gao Hao continues to go down. That new guy, Maccabee, you need to find something, but Polyphia goes down, and as the sky opens, the teams see their scores going to the last pivotal section of the map, but it's a 400k scoreline, only looking to grow towards the right side till the very end. Chain misses, 4 wipes, B jammed. It looks so favored towards Seija Corp going to the last sections of the map, and that's gonna be the double time for another break point to add to the toll of Seija Corp to take them all the way to match point.
And that's exactly what I was scared of.
Man.
I mean, Amaterasu, 300k on most of their members. They actually improved their score by quite a bit more here on their supporting members. But again, like I asked earlier, where was that noob guy in that map? He was not there to match Gao Hao there. 500,000. 1.1k or 1k combo from Gao Hao would save them on this map, and that's just the chain misses on that ending. The ending is so hard, by the way. It's what made that difference. That 1k combo, so scary. And now, do you hear the sound of DT3? Got me. You hear it?
It's like boss music. I don't like it. I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like what I'm hearing. It's very ironic considering that it's a Funjin anime ghost song to close things out. But I don't want to be a doomer just yet. I still believe that there is a world that Amaterasu wins on this double time 3 just because of what we saw from them in the DT2, right? But again, the pressure knowing that this was one of your bands in the previous matchup, and now it is.
Whoa.
Oh wait, whoa, wait. Okay, speak to me, Lafarai. What? What?
Well, I mean, you did say that DT3 is kind of a funky map. It's very short. It's 1 minute. Very risky. So, you're 4 points up. I guess you don't want something as risky as a DT3 since it's so short, right? You could mess up at any point and you lose 300,000 score. So this is a little bit more guaranteed towards Seija Corp here. One of the more favorite maps. They lost this, but it was only by, I think, 50,000 score, which I think it was because of a chain miss near the ending, and that's something you're going to have to watch out for. This is the stream map in the pool. They've been pulling Fremont 3 stream maps the entire tournament. This is no different. 200 BPM flow aim with a little bit of stamina mixed in. Your stream players are going to have to be ready to hold on to their combos here, because if you miss once, you're gonna miss 50 times.
Yeah, definitely. And I like to, sort of rationalize this pick coming in from Seija Corp. Because at the end of the day, it's a more tapping oriented mechanics map. Of course, consistency is the main name of the game at the end of the day, right? All about your moderate consistency when it comes to these 200 BPM, these 200 BPM patterns. But for what it's worth, these 200 BPM patterns are streams, and if the Normal 2 was any indicator of the strength of these teams when it comes to speed, on the scale, Seija Corp is definitely heavier and definitely the favorite to win on any sort of stream pick. But I'm gonna sort of improve the points or improve the argument for the left side, improve the argument for Amaterasu. At the end of the day, we saw that they were comfortable on a lower BPM. On the double time 2, it was lower than the no mod 2, coming in at around 230 BPM. That's the first thing. The second thing, this free mod 3 is 40 BPM slower than what we saw from the Nomad 2. So even though this does seem like a very favorite pick towards Seija Corp, I still do think that there is a world where Amaterasu wins on a stream pick. Perhaps the increased accessibility that the 40 BPM differential brings is enough to tip the scales, but we'll have to wait and see. It's do or die now for Amaterasu. Seija Corp from this point on has a knife to their throat. They are 4 points down, and if they want miracles to happen, cross your fingers, cross your toes, because oh my goodness, they're gonna need it.
Yeah, this is what Seija Corp couldn't do last time. They were 5 points for such a long time, but now they close it out, finally get to match point, put the pressure on Amaterasu, and like you said, do or die here from Amaterasu. First one to miss, Tapsis on the hidden, but right now, I'm looking towards that Hard Rock battle. That noob guy against Gaohao, both on the Hard Rocks. We know what these two can do on any this Hard Rock mod here, and on both the free mod and on the mods. Big streams come in, but so far no big misses. There's one though, Marin misses, and now Amaterasu are in full advantage here, going out of the intro of this free mod trade.
You love to see it. The increase in consistency, the increase in accessibility is playing in favor of the left side. But that new guy is going to tip the scales just a little bit in favor of the right side. Tapsis, however, not able to find his footing. But with that miss from Maccabees, things are looking scarier and scarier if you're a Amaterasu fan. Currently, Brian and Chloe are the only ones to fan up against Gaohao and Seija. But the accuracies are speaking volumes, not to mention the recovery from Marin. That 300 combo and counting is doing wonders for the right side right now. But Seija, the CEO of the company, will be the one to go down, and Amaterasu now have the scoreline in their hands. They have it in the palm. They just need to run all the way with it. This is a rather short map, so those misses are going to be huge. Tapsis and that new guy gonna continue to stagnate that scoreline, but there is not enough time. There is not much time left for Seija Corp to make the comeback. So you are just hoping that Brian and Chloe can bring it all the way.
They're on normal here. This is such a secure lead here. It's 100,000 and still going. There's a bit of Brian, but still, Chloe is there to match Gaohao. And 500 cover from Macabea makes it even more easy for them to keep this lead. Time is running out. And even with the improvement from Gaohao, they still keep themselves alive in this match. Amaterasu, free Motri. Wait, chain misses come out though. There's Gaohao, and the Hard Rock is finally down. Chloe win Q to close things out. It's a 50,000 score lead in favor of Amaterasu, keeping them alive. Third point here in this grand finals. They are still in this match, and now they get to pick the next map.
This team can't keep doing this to me, bro. This team can't keep doing this to me. They keep giving me heart attacks, but a point is a point, and a point is what they will get. That's what we are saying, right? Free mod 3 is so incredibly dangerous for Seija Corp because it's an increase in accessibility. And Amaterasu won on No Mod 1, they won on Harbor 1, all maps that play into accessibility. When it comes to a blanket plateau, when it comes to flat, even playing field, Amaterasu more times than none are the ones to win that coin flip. And win it, they just did. It's back to the drawing board for Amaterasu, and they are one step closer to the finish line. That was the first step into that final climb, but it's going to be a question of whether they can survive the further incumbent avalanches that Seija Corp will be throwing in at them.
Well, 3 maps left. And what more can you pick here? There's some aims left in this pool, actually. Those 2 picks, I'm assuming, from Amaterasu. Yep. Hidden Wonder, Free Mod 1. Maybe the No Mod 3. Those 3 maps are most likely, and oh my god. We're getting sentimental skyscraper, everybody.
Oh man. So we're hype pooling. So we're hype pooling. So we're hype pooling. Oh man. Okay. So we're gonna be here for a while. This is a 5-minute 27 long map. A song by Hello C. I think that should give you enough perspective. This is a map by Hollowings, and we all love our Chinese mappers. Hollowing, known as one of the most influential mappers, really ahead of his time in his style. And this map is it's accessible, the right word, Lafarai, because it's such a weird map at the end of the day, right? It plays like no other aim map, and that's just how Hollow Wings style works. It's aim, but kinda not. It's like the uncanny valley of aim. Like you can, it kind of resembles, you know, your normal aim maps, but at the end of the day, it's still somewhat awkward, but you wouldn't call it awkward aims because it doesn't have huge angular changes. It just has large sliders. Like, oh man, oh man, oh man. And I don't know how a pick like this will go. This is such a ballsy pick from Amaterasu, and this is why I love them as a team.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what they need, right? Something out of this world to pick as to try and keep themselves alive here. You know, I see the players forming up. Everyone is ready. Miaho is there for some reason. I think that's the referee. He's not there. Okay, he's not supposed to be here. Okay, get out of there. Thank you. Okay, make space for the players. Marin comes in. I'm assuming that guy's gonna be on the no mod. And you know, something interesting that can happen here is maybe they put Gaohao on the no mod. I'm not sure what they're gonna do there, but you know, mods. The mod battle is what I'm looking at, because if they put Gaohao on the hard rock, that guy's probably gonna be on the no mod. That makes things a little bit easier for Amaterasu, but it doesn't seem likely, seeing as Jitterish is in the lobby, probably gonna go on the no mod. So, or actually no, that makes things even more likely because. Okay,
Yeah,
no,
Jitterish
prove me
goes
wrong.
hard rock.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. He's on hard rock. Looks like Gaohao will be on the no mod, and oh, the switch up now. It's that noob guy going on the hard rock for this one. He's been going no mod on this map ever since they picked it, and you know when they did pick it against Musume Pretty last weekend, they lost this map. So I'm assuming they, you know, with that extra week of practice, a little bit more preparation, they have the roster a bit more locked in. Chloe Wing Q on the no mod, who actually had a 500k score. Amazing score from last weekend, but let's see if he can do the same without that hard rock. Makabeya stays on the hidden, and now let's see what Seija Corp can do on this free mod 1. Sentimental Skyscraper. This map is 20 years old. If you don't know what this is, it's awkward aim, awkward patterns, all coming from 2013. Even if you can't tell, this map, such an iconic one to be played, and it still is being played to the modern day. We're seeing it here in Grand Finals, everybody. Can Amaterasu stay alive? One more map to go. This free mod 1 is their lifeline. Let's see.
Yeah, that's right, and a lifeline they need. I find it funny that we are sort of casting, we're getting into the tiebreaker style of cast because this is a long one. 5 minutes and 27 seconds on the clock, 5 minutes and 27 seconds for this decision to be made. And I like to say, if Amaterasu managed to win on this, imagine the mental toll that they present to Seija Corp, losing on such a long gauntlet of a map. But Makabe is going to find misses alongside that new guy, slowly in the early sections of the map, struggling to find that footing. Brook3, the only one left in, just on the left side to hold. And meanwhile, Seija Corp bringing in the heat with Gaohao and Tapsis now double 600 combos for themselves. Gaohao with the 99% as well as expected. The scoreline opens and Amaterasu knows what needs to be done. I will say there is a lot of map. to go, so wouldn't discount them out just yet. But once again, you need to hope, you need to pray that Amaterasu can live one more time.
So far though, things are looking up for Seija Corp. They have a massive combo lead. Jitterish besting that noob guy as of now. Very, very good combo lead. They have 2 FCs to go, and as well as very nice 600 combo to trail. And now it's just 1-2 match from Amaterasu. Jock3 still in the FC. Taps breaks, that's huge. But still, it's 100,000 score lead, and they need more than one. But you hear the song, Gami Cariola. Can you hear what's coming next? It's the linear jumps. Let's see who hits it. Here it comes.
Here we go! The one angles come to attack, and they kill the legs of Jitterish and how Chloe might fall, but the residual damage is far larger in the favor of Seija Corp. Jock3, however, fights on this. Holy crap, and Marin, when the dust settles, is the one to remain standing. 1k combo in favor of Seija Corp, coming out of the crossfire, coming out of the onslaught, coming out from the Tempest. Marin is gonna be the one to continue to perpetuate this scoreline further and further towards the right side. I I'm sorry, Laparai, but could you blame me for getting excited when you see whatever the hell Halloween is throwing at? But Mara, find the miss as we're talking about anything but the map, and suddenly the scoreline is closer and closer. 700, double 700 combos for that new guy in Mekabe. Oh my goodness, I need to take a breather.
One more chance here. Marin almost gave them a exit out of this tournament, but they get one more chance. That miss makes all the difference. And now it's combo lead. The Amaterasu tap just makes that even easier. And now it's Gallo against 4. Big recoveries from Amaterasu. Can they take this away? But again, it's another one of those sections coming by. See, Tapsis was a bad show. That is 600 combo still to work with. Seija Corp. And now it's Maccabeya versus that new guy. 900 combo. Can they hold against this next set of linear jumps? Tapsis breaks. Is there an answer? No, there isn't. It's a collapse from Seija Corp. And Amaterasu triple hold into this ending will keep them alive in this match. One more map.
Kick sliders come in, silence fills the room. We're in the calm before the storm. The pressure is at an all-time high, but that new guy in Makabe, they struggle time and time again throughout this entire match. That new guy in the previous map was struggling to get it going, but I mean, when it matters the most, he rose up to the challenge, and he's gonna be there to make the difference for his team. When you're backed into a corner, unorthodox is what you need, and unorthodox is what they're gonna use to live one more pick.
I mean, if you look at these combos right now, that new guy Maccabeya unfazed by the state of match point. Still going here, going into this ending. 1.4k combo for both of them. They miss at the same time, but now they're holding at the same time. And Amaterasu, 500,000 score lead. All the improvement that they've been building up for the past week. It starts here. Free mod 1. 500,000 score lead, and they are alive still in this match. 4-6. They just need 2 more. And we'll see a tiebreaker to end off this tournament.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Like, you know, we can talk all about, you know, the funny match that's happening right now. We can talk all about how Amaterasu practically massacre that free mod 3. Oh no, that free mod 1, but holy crap. It looks like my mic could even handle that stuff. Holy crap. We love the Southeast Asian mic, guys. You know, my bad chat. But like, it's too exciting, you know? It's too exciting. We sometimes the mic gets lost in the sauce as well. And we see a timeout coming in from Seija Corp. Okay. I think we all need a breather after such a nail-biting scoreline. And once again, the clutch gene of Amaterasu is lighting up. They're feeling it. Seija Corp is feeling the pressure. They're feeling the nerves. And they see visions of themselves. They see visions of Amaterasu winning 4 points in a row before, and they don't want to proceed any further. So let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about what's happening on the ground. Let's talk about how these teams will look to attack moving forward in this matchup, because it's the last 2 picks for both rosters, and you know, things are getting very, very scary if you are Seija Corp and you are 5 points up, and suddenly Amaterasu is giving you a run for your money.
Well, you know, let's see what's happening with the pool right now. It's all the free mods are gone. Most DTs are gone. DT1 is banned. What's left is the risky DT3. Same goes for the hard rock. Hard rock 1 is gone. HR3 is banned, and HR2, that's CS 7.8. Don't want to do that when you're nervous. Hidden 2 is banned. Hidden 3 already picked. Went very well for Seija Corp. But what's left is aim, which is something that I'm assuming Amaterasu will want to go towards. And the no mod pool is not looking any more favorable for anyone here. It's no mod 3 and no mod 4. 2 very risky maps. So anywhere you go, it's all coin flips. It's such a scary pick for either player, or either team, sorry.
Yeah.
What do they pick here? That's my question.
I think Seija Corp goes DT3. I think everybody in chat knows it. I think we know it inside our hearts. DT3 is the best pick for Seija. It's gotta be, because you don't have anything else that you are remotely favored on, and you don't want to try to go for a crazy angle right now, you know, considering that, you know, we still have, you know, all the control maps left in the tank. You know, I'm looking at the no mod 3, the no mod 4 still remaining if they want to pick into it, but do you really want to do that? Do you really want to go into control when Amaterasu and yourself has never, like, sort of... They've never danced this dance before, apart from the hidden 3.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not what you want to do. And I think on the side of Amaterasu, we're expecting a hidden 1 pick. I believe they beat Seija Corp on the hidden 1 during their last matchup. So if they do manage to get the chance, I think this hidden 1's a very, very good shot for them. Oh my goodness, but it's so scary, right? You don't know how the mental looks like for both of the rosters currently, and you know, what might seem like a good pick for one might not be the best pick given the nerves at hand, given the stakes at hand. So,
well, the best argument here for the DT3 is that you probably will have less of a threat coming from that noob guy, since it is that 276 BPM awkward high BPM figure control as well as bursts. So you're dealing with not the best player on Amaterasu if you pick that DT3. So even if it is risky, it's definitely like enabling them less than if you go to something like a HR2 no mod 3 no mod 4 or even a hidden 1, which, you know, Amaterasu would definitely like to have that Doom guy be able to just pull out an FC from somewhere, which is what they would need. They're 2 points down, and Seija Corp is still thinking about their pick. Just give time for everyone to just settle their nerves, as well as think about what's next. Because after this pick, if Amaterasu wins this, if Amaterasu wins this, they have to choose between 3. They're gonna have to think about it right now, because they have the time now, but they can think about it right now and be ready for later. That would be huge. Just get rid of all the unnecessary thoughts in your mind, right?
yeah, that would be huge indeed. But while we are at this break, you know, quick shout outs to our sponsors, Desu Live. I believe Desu Live is a company that's been really making their waves in the OS community. You know, the alternative, you know, they've been pushing an alternative for your keycaps and whatnot. I believe some members of their team are very, very well known in the OCC, and I'm looking at, you know, YFBMP as a mapper, and you know, my personal GOAT ZSJK from 6WC 2024. So if you're looking for any, you know, keypads, if you're looking for their meow pad, do consider them as a potential option. I think shipping is a lot better as well if you are an Asian, such as, you know, everybody in the commentary booth, in fact. And I'm sure that all their quality, all their products will be of good quality, and you know, you will definitely enjoy their services. But yeah, once again, huge shouts to Desu Life, and you know, huge ominous bell tolling for whoever wins this matchup, because okay, yep, the DT3 comes in. As I was mentioning the bell tolling, the DT3 comes in, and
there it is.
This, you know, we've talked so many times about how this DT3 was a ban pick from Amaterasu in their previous matchup, and now going into this, there's a lot of mental hurdles that they need to jump through. There's a lot of nerves that they need to shake past, going up against Seija Corp on a speed map. But I just like to say, they've done it once on a mechanics pick. They beat them on the free mod 3, and hopefully with less of a stamina focus on this double time 3, hopefully they will be able to pull something off. But it's gonna be up to the players. It's gonna be up to how they're feeling on the day, because at this juncture, LaFerrari, I don't even know what's happening. I've gotten so many heart attacks during this series that I don't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx anything.
Yeah, I mean, if we could stay quiet for 1 minute and 10 seconds, we would. But we're gonna have to see what they do here on this DT3. 270 BPM. Super awkward on this. I'm not sure if I would call this old style. That's what they've been doing for finals and semifinals. The DT3s, higher BPM DTs. But this one, it's not only that it's linear, it's also some weird. I'm not sure if it's stacks. It's just so awkward. Like when you look at this map, it's definitely unconventional. But I think the most important factor is that BPM 77 actually. And a half. So we will see if that locks out the team of Amaterasu from this map. Seija Corp, they have 2 chances here, and this is chance number 1.
That's true. And the coin flip that will come after the coin flip that they'll have to play, the game that they'll have to play, if they lose out on this pick, is definitely going to be a pick that does not favor them. We're anticipating a hidden one, and similar to this DT3 before, it's something that, either side, or it's something that Amaterasu previously in their previous matchup did emerge victorious on. So here we go, DT3 for all the marbles here. If Amaterasu win this, they're looking so much more strong to take it all the way. But the question is, will Seija Corp even begin to think about giving them that opportunity? We've seen 2 tiebreaker matchups between both of these teams. We've seen Amaterasu be on the back foot time and time again during countless amounts of showings. And the question is, will they be able to repeat such a feat? But early on in the matchup, Polyphia, that new guy, and Chloe all gonna find early misses. And meanwhile, Gaohao, Jitterish, and Tapsis, the complete opposite. 3-way dominance. Tapsis does go down to even the score. And Gaohao and Jitterish fall as well. But Lafarai, I mean, you're looking at the scoreline. You're looking at the scoreline.
Are we seeing this?
Are we seeing this?
It's 30 seconds left. There's 30 seconds left and counting now. We're going down to 20 seconds, and there's no combo anywhere. It's 350,000, and Seija Corp is ahead by such a big margin. 3 more break, as well as 2 from Seija Corp, but it's only be Brian against Tapsis and Jitterish. Hold on to 100 combo, and is it over? They have 10 seconds to come back 400,000. I think that is it. This is what we've been waiting for, Gami Cariola. Seija Corp is here. 7 points. Finally, we've been waiting a week. And this company finally has taken over the world of East Asia. And they take down the next best team 7-4 in Tinwa Summer Cup 3. Congratulations to everybody on this team. I hope you enjoy your 8 times Meow Pad from Dasu Life and your badge. And as well as the win on such a big tournament. Probably the second biggest in Asia in the second half this year. They finally pull it off.
It's like my god! It's like a quick dose of morphine, right? It's nice and swift with this double time 3, nice and clean to take it all the way for Seija Corp. They have faced 3 times this entire tournament, and both times they went all the way. They went the distance to the tiebreaker, and this time Seija Corp, there can be no doubt, they want this win. They wanted this win, and they will be securing it 7-4 decisively, the most decisive series that we've seen from these 2 teams yet. And what a pick to end it on. Good, congratulations to both sides for the incredible showing throughout this entire tournament. I think there have been so many close matches this entire series. I mean, there have been so many close matches this entire tournament as well. I mean, it's not every day you get to see 2 tiebreakers in grand finals. In my experience, you typically see 7-2, maybe a 5-7 tiebreaker edge, but never 2 whole tiebreakers. And I think as a viewer, it has been an absolute blast to watch, and even as a caster, it's been an absolute blast to commentate this tournament. There's a reason why Tinwa Summer Cup keeps coming back every single year, and I'm very, very happy to be part of this project. But enough about myself. Let us congratulate Seija Corp as you mentioned before, they claim their handsome 8 Desu Life tapping keypads. And with that, I mean, what more is there to say, Lafarai? It's been an absolute blast casting this with you, and I think it's been an absolute blast for the viewers as well.
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that. We started Tinwa Summer Cup last month, in October. Now it's nearly we're halfway through November now, almost December, and so far this entire time it's been such a wild watch seeing all these players in Asia show up and improve. Just the region has been so interesting in the past year, and it results in such a great grand finals here, even if we did have to delay by a week for bracket reset. But still, everyone showed up, really. It's just those small margins of differences is what resulted in this one from Seija Corp. Amaterasu, congratulations on 2nd place. They do still get a profile banner, as well as Musume Pretty down in that 3rd place. Bronze medal, also a profile banner for every single one of their players, but Seija Corp will get all the spoils, and that is it for this tournament.
Yep. With what I believe is only 5 players, Seija Corp, Gaohao, Jitterish, Tapsis, Baron, and Umeri, take it all the way. So I before we go, Huge shouts to Amaterasu, the runner-up team. I think they did an incredible job this entire series as well. And, it's unfortunate, but there can only be one winner. Before we go, I'd like to shout out all the staff that were involved in the tournament alongside Luxon, primarily, for being the end-all, be-all, do-or-die streamer for this entire tournament. I always see this guy in VC, and he's hard carrying the streaming. So do show your love to Luxon as well. You know, we all love our hosts, all the respects to the host, and this tournament could not have been possible without how much work they've put in for the tournament. Alongside, of course, the namesake of the tournament, Tinwa, as well
Design
for
wa.
designer for spearheading a lot of, I believe, the website design as well as just all the graphics that you see here today. Both of them incredibly huge. Huge shouts to all of the refs as well. I believe the ref for this one was Miaoho, alongside all my fellow commentators. I'm looking at Apple Candy, Blank Tap for the bracket for a lot of the bracket reset matches and whatnot. And last but especially not least, the players and you guys, the viewers. It would not have been possible without you guys. So, Tinwa Summer Cup 3. Hopefully there'll be a Tinwa Summer Cup 4 in sometime down the future. This has been presented to you by Desu Life. My name has been Gammy Kriola. His name was La Farai. We are the third iteration of Tinwa Summer Cup, signing out. Goodbye.